Hey everybody, it's Rich Holland from Slo-Pitch for Autism. Welcome to another edition of Off the Diamond, a weekly show where we talk about autism and slow pitch with different people that are involved in the community. Today we have joining us Shalen Boyd. Shalen's played a number of our tournaments and is also the mother of an autistic boy named Owen. Welcome to the show, Shalen.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How's things during pandemic?
I wish it was over, but I don't think it'll ever be totally back to how it was. So we'll just go with what we go with.
It feels that way, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the first things that I wanted to ask you about is Owen. I mean, how old's Owen now?
He'll be 12 on Tuesday.
Wow, eh? Time goes too fast.
I know.
So I'm assuming, being autistic, that routines mean a lot to him. Has this really thrown those routines out of whack?
Not yes and no. For getting up and going to bed, he's still doing it. He's like, he doesn't go to sleep, but he has like, he's particular. So he has to be in his room at 9 o'clock. He's not in his room at 9 o'clock. It's like, he doesn't know what to do. Unless we're out, like we went to watch the fireworks, he was fine, like in my daughter-in-law's parents' backyard. But yeah, he's up in the morning still. He's going to bed still. So that part's been okay. I mean, I could go on, but I'm sure you're going to ask me other questions and I'm going to comment more about things that have changed. But
so, okay. Just a little bit about Owen himself then. I mean, what age was he diagnosed?
5 or 6.
5 or 6?
Going before he went into grade 1, just after he finished kindergarten.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
How did you guys take it when you got the diagnosis?
I was okay with it, to be honest with you, because when he was like 3, he used to have like meltdowns, like temper tantrums, I thought. And I used to be like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And because he's high functioning, I wouldn't even have put that 2 and 2 together. And then his kindergarten teacher, the first kindergarten teacher was new, so she didn't know. She just disciplined him with behavioral problems. Sorry, my dog. And then the next kindergarten teacher, she had more experience, and she politely said to me, oh, I think you need to go get him tested for being gifted, actually. That's how she brought it up. She never mentioned autism, but I'm pretty sure she probably knew, and that was her nice way of saying it, because he is very, he did end up being gifted. So I did take him, and then when they came out with it, the doctor said to me, we don't call it Asperger's anymore, but he would be Asperger's. She goes, look that up. And when I looked at it, I was like, that's him. So it didn't insult me. It didn't, you know what I mean? Like some people take it the wrong way and say, no, not my child or whatever, but it actually just answered a lot of questions for me.
Did it change your lifestyle at the time?
It gave me, not really, because he was still the way he was, but it actually gave me places. So my cat's trying to step on the keyboard. It gave me places to look to see how to handle it better. Instead of me getting frustrated now, I'm like, okay, let's, try and approach it a different way. Like with his meltdowns and stuff, because that was the most thing, was him having meltdowns originally. Right. I mean, he has eye contact, he's social. I did realize when he was younger too that he didn't have a lot of friends, because he still does it sometimes. He talks to you, not with you, because he's very smart and he'll just spew information and it sounds like he's having a conversation, but he's really not. So it made me look at things differently in that sense, but it didn't really change stuff.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah. Does he have any sensory issues?
Yes, but with him, it's really funny. He, I don't want to say he grew out of them or he learned to manage them. So when he was younger, like at daycare, when he was like 1-2 years old, he couldn't even get water on him without freaking out. He couldn't touch certain things. When I would take him to the beach, if he got sand on his feet, he would freak out, like even up until like the ages of 7 or 8, kind of things. Clothes with tags in them, certain clothes, he didn't like the feel of them. He wouldn't wear them. If you buy him clothes and he'd never pick that one, or he'd take that one off. He, as soon as he comes in the house, he has to have his socks and shoes off. His socks are off, stuff like that.
Right.
And he had a blanket. He had this blanket from when he was little, and he still has it. We call it Mr. Blanket. And it had like a silk around the outside, and then it was just really soft. And he always used to like entwine it through his fingers and stuff. He always had it, like he was always fiddling with it between his fingers.
I've heard of that, actually.
Yeah, he still has it upstairs in his room. If I ever lost that, I would die, because I bought it at Winners, and they never have the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I've never seen it again. Like, so luckily we still have it, and he doesn't. It's in his bed, but he doesn't. He used to take it everywhere. Now it's just in his bed.
So he just uses it as a coping mechanism
He used
type
to.
thing?
Now, not so much, but yeah, before he would. He's so smart that it's good because he reads things, he understands himself now better, and it helps a lot.
Right. Okay.
So,
Um, one of the things that I really noticed with Owen, especially when he was at the tournament looking at our merchandise that one time, he's very direct.
yes.
And I find that is the case with a lot of people with autism, and that's one of the things that I really admire, because you know exactly where he's coming from. I mean, what are the
Yeah, when they
some
diagnosed him with what is it, nonverbal learning disability,
right,
meaning that he doesn't understand mannerisms. So if you're rolling your eyes at him, he'll just keep talking. But he's kind of learned now that he's older, but when he was a kid, he didn't, like, it's things that are nonverbal things that people do. He didn't, those were totally off his radar.
right?
Mhm.
What's some of the things that you really admire about him?
Like in that sense, or?
Just in general, because I know a lot of parents tell me, autism's a blessing, and I've learned so much.
It really is. And because people talk about bullying and stuff, and you always worry that your kid's gonna get bullied. Things just roll off of him. Like someone one day, I'll give you an example. He was walking through the schoolyard, and some older kid, he has like this bag, and he likes anime, and it's got like an anime character on it, and it's a shoulder bag, right? It's not a purse, but someone goes, "Nice purse." And Owen turns around and looks at him. He goes, "Thanks, but if you want to make fun of me, you need something better than that." And he just keeps walking. He's got no fear in that sense. Like he's very high anxiety, but with stuff like that, he's just like, "See ya, whatever." It just rolls off him. So it actually helps in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really cool. I mean, too bad we couldn't all be like that, right?
Yeah, and he's so smart. Like he just takes things in, like that, like talking about being at home. That's one of the things that's the hardest because he doesn't stop talking. And I talk a lot anyways, but he's way worse than me. And I'm at home trying to work, and he knows I'm trying to work, and he tries his hardest not to talk to me, but then he starts going on, and he really likes history. And I'm like, trying to work, and you're trying not to get upset, and you're trying to be like, okay, so.
I got the impression from talking with him that he's a numbers person. Is he, or was I
Um,
missing on that a bit?
he is good with numbers, but he's like, it's not like it shows in his schoolwork and stuff because he has like, I think like processing. So like, for instance, if they're doing direct math, he's fine. But if he doesn't understand something, he freaks out first before he can calm down. So for
Right.
instance, when you're trying to do like the area of something and you have to take different sections,
Mm-hmm.
it's too much, right? So as long as
Right.
it's a direct thing, like he can add and subtract, whatever, or, stuff like that. But he's not like, it's not like something, and he was tested gifted and everything, but he needs his time to be able to process it.
Right.
So
What do
he's
you
not a numbers kid, he's just an everything kid, and he's just I don't know, he's like wide range of things.
do you I don't know if he's old enough yet. Do you foresee him going in any particular direction when he's an adult?
I think he wants to help people. He likes, at first he was talking about being a lawyer, but then when he really starts to understand what lawyers have to do, he's starting to maybe change his mind. And other times we were talking one time about people being hypochondriacs or that Munchausen syndrome
Right.
kind of thing. We were having a whole conversation about it. He's like, maybe I should be a social worker because I think my dad's a hypochondriac and stuff like that. Like, I think he really likes to talk to people and like that kind of thing.
Right.
He really does. So like a social worker or something, maybe he might like, I don't know. He doesn't really know yet.
Yeah. No, and he's still got time to get
He wants
there.
to write, but he knows he said to me, like, I don't say anything about his dreams, but he likes to write. But he says, I don't know if there's good money there though, if I'll be able to get a good job. Like he actually says that.
Right.
And we joke around, we call him stepbrothers, that he's going to be living in our house till he's like 50. We joke about it.
When you mentioned that when you got the diagnosis, you were ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I find a lot of the parents that I speak to maybe weren't ready.
His dad wasn't. I can tell you his dad. His dad thinks, oh, that's just a label, because he doesn't live with his dad. He's never lived with his dad. He's always been with me. And honestly, until this past summer when his dad's been off work with him a lot, he's finally realizing. Because I think with Owen being home, we were talking about routine. His routine is out of whack. So before he would walk to school, walk home, he was getting out, he was whatever. So now because he's been home a lot, he's getting a lot of anxiety when he does leave the home. So even at his dad's house, I was there and he's pacing and he's this and he's that. And his dad reacts by like, oh, what are you doing? And then Owen's like, And so, I mean, even his own parent didn't believe it. You know what I mean? Like in that
Right.
sense. So they're not ready for it because people have labels for things, you know, they have ideas and stereotypes of what autism is, or, you know, and that's why this is a great thing for you to bring this to people who realize that it's not just a Rain Man type person. Do you know what I mean? Like there is like different levels, but not, you can't judge one person by one thing that you've heard or saw. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. And they get this like, oh, I don't want anything to be wrong with my kid. And it's not wrong. It's just different, you know, like he's amazing. I couldn't imagine him any other way.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people tend to group people with autism together, but you really can't. I mean, everybody is their own individual and are all dealing with different
and people
issues.
Do judge, like even right now, like even my boss sometimes, she's like, oh, Owen's fine. I'm like, you saw him for 5 minutes. You didn't have to make him do anything. And his dad was even the same way. I'm like, you didn't have to make him brush his teeth. You didn't have to make him have a shower. You didn't have to do all this. And now he'll go to his dad's house and dad's like, oh, I can't get him to brush his teeth. I'm like, told you. Because he used to judge me on how I took care of him. And I'm like, you can only force so much. You know what I mean? It's going to take time. And so, you know, it's hard.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So we talked about the parents that got the diagnosis and maybe weren't ready for it. I mean, is there any advice that you would have for parents that have recently got this diagnosis?
Just to not think of it as a bad thing. You know, it's really not a bad thing. I mean, it makes your life a little bit difficult in some ways, but it is what it is. You still love your kid, right? What are you going to do?
Absolutely. Unconditionally, right?
Yeah. And I know some people have it harder than me. I get that. I totally get that. And I don't know, you know, how they do it even. And I'm doing this, you know what I mean? It's you do what you have to do when you have to do it. That's
right.
the way I see it.
Have you found that there's enough supports out there?
I'm horrible for looking for things because he's so high functioning. I haven't needed the help that a lot of people need.
Right.
So I find it confusing. I'm going to be honest. Like I find like, you know, I'll go to the doctor, she gave me this list of things and I call them and I'm like, am I on that list? Am I not on that list? Are they helping me? Are they not helping me? Like I find it hard to figure it out, to be honest. And
right.
It's a full-time job and I have a full-time job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel when I start looking at things. And I'm just thankful for the help that I have had from his school board and for the fact that I have good benefits. So if I need to take him somewhere, it's paid for. You know what I mean? Like he goes to a summer camp. They gave me a receipt for group therapy. I don't even have to, like, I get the money back for the camp. It's great. But I found that on my own. It wasn't through anybody. It wasn't, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I do find it difficult to find the help you need. I really do.
So
and with him being high functioning, it's hard too because you're like, you know, you always think, oh, people need it more than me. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take up space. You know, like that's how I think, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, if it helps him further his progress, then
yeah, he did get that one-time funding that they gave out this year.
Right.
$1,000. He got that, and it said to use it towards things that interested him or to help him. And he really likes to make movies and stuff. So I'll have to send you one once he makes one fully because we got an iMac. We bought him an iMac so that he could do the editing and stuff because the laptop we had, he couldn't figure it out. So we got him an iMac and I just bought him a new video camera for his birthday. So we'll get some videos out there after.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome.
He's having a little frustration, having a little, I don't know how to do it on the program, but I'll have to sit down. I'm off this week, so hopefully we can sit down and take a look at it maybe.
Right. So just to kind of wrap up, I mean, is there, I guess, a message that you want to get out there at all to people that are maybe not as educated on what autism is? How can society help with understanding and acceptance?
Honestly, I just think what you guys are doing, because the more people that come, the more people will hear these things and the more people will understand. Because right now, people just have like a stereotype of what it is. So I think that I just think you're really helping by getting it out there, because people might not know autism, but their friend asks them to play baseball and they're going to come and they're going to sit there and you make them listen to the spiel. Even if it's the 50th time, I think it's good because you always hear something new. I sit there and I'm in tears with some of the people talking at your things. And my older brother is the biggest jerk you've ever met. And he was there going to cry when we were in Milton. I could see his face. He
Right.
was like, oh my God, like I didn't realize how bad you have it, because he's not here with him either. Not that I have it that bad, but like I can see him like, oh, and now every time he's sending me, he's watching videos, he goes to those BPM music festivals. There's a
Right.
DJ and this guy that dances around who's autistic. He sends me videos of this guy. Every time he sees something amazing about autism now, he sends it to me. But that means he's watched it now too. You
But
know what I mean?
that's
He's
one more
watched it.
person that is
Yeah,
educating
he's watched it.
themselves.
He's posted it on his Instagram with his friends. He's posted it, you know, and it gets out there when you just get one person each, and it just will go.
Amazing. And that's exactly what we need to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, because it's slow pitch is what we do, right? You've played a whole lot of our tournaments. You've won a couple medallions along the way and had some
Finally,
success.
after years.
After years.
And that's just a family team, right? That's great.
But you're going out and you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been playing ball?
Me? Oh, probably since I was like 12.
Yeah.
I have two brothers. So like I used to play catch and stuff with my brothers because I'm a girl in between two boys. So I could always play catch and stuff, but I never played organized baseball till I think I was 14.
What draws you to it? Is it just simply the camaraderie?
Originally it was, I grew up in Toronto, and we had a baseball league there at Topham Park, it's in East York, and everyone just hung out there. My brother played with some friends. He's like, everyone hangs out here, just come try and play. And I sucked. Like I was scared because all these girls have been playing since they were little, and it was fast pitch.
Right.
And I just said, okay, I'm going to go. And I went and I did it. And I've been playing ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some of the really cool things on the diamond, but one of the things that's really been an issue in the sport recently is safety on the diamond. We just this year have mandated pitching masks, for instance.
Yeah.
But I know that Sean had a pretty serious issue happen on the diamond about a year ago. Yeah. I mean, can you tell us about what happened and maybe what kind of measures can be put in place?
He was playing men's. We were playing actually a cystic fibrosis tournament because our friend's daughter has cystic fibrosis. So we always play on his team in the summer as well. It's usually on the long weekend at the beginning of August. And we were here down at Clarington Fields. And it was a men's game because they have a men's and then co-ed. And he was just, I don't know, running to second because they threw the ball to throw someone out at third. So he took off from first to go to second. I didn't see it, thank God, but I heard it. Someone yelled, throw it to two, and the guy just wildly threw the ball, and it caught Sean in the side of his face, broke his cheekbone. His face was swollen up. Luckily, it was on his cheekbone and not any higher. No helmets or whatever. But because it knocked him out, he went flying and broke his leg in two places, and also pulled all the ligaments down his shin. And so his ankle wasn't really attached to his foot. Yeah. And so he's still got screws and stuff in there because of COVID. They haven't been able to take them out because they're supposed to take them out because they ended up having to screw his ankle to his two bones. He couldn't walk on it for 3 months, Sean? 4 months, which was fast for him because a lot of people, like the doctor said it would be longer. And it was crazy because he's laying on the ground, knocked out, waking up, seizing. And I'm like freaking out. I'm not freaking out because I'm calm because I don't want to freak him out, but he's seizing, and every time he'd wake up, he'd say, my leg, and you see this face like this, and you think it's his face, but it's his leg. But it just shows you that even when you get hit in the face, it can affect other things. I mean, he's lucky it didn't go higher, but it also, like, his face was healed in a couple weeks, luckily. But his leg, like, I think he played a dome ball tournament to try it out, right? And he played hockey, but, like, he's lucky. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Scary. And so, he's off work. He scared the crap out of me thinking he was dying on there. It took forever for the ambulance to get down to Clarington Field. So you're like freaking out. So I wore a helmet ever since that happened. If you see me last summer after that, I wore a helmet the whole time. And I told him he's not playing unless he wears a helmet. It was scary. And
I've seen some instances over the last couple of years where leagues have mandated helmets and things like that.
The thing that makes me laugh is even people who have watched it, people that I'm friends with, some of the guys went out and got helmets the next morning because their kids saw this. And they were freaked out, right? But there's people that are still like, well, if they mandate it, I'll wear it. Did you not just see that happen? You don't need to tell me. You don't have to make me wear it. It's like masks right now. I don't want to get sick. I'm going to wear it. I don't know why you have to be mandated to do something, but I guess until you see it And even like I said to you now, even Sean, he's like, oh, maybe I'll wear a helmet. He's wearing one. He says that to you. He's wearing one. You know, you forget because it was a year ago. But, you know, the financial hardship that you go through, the mental hardship of him being stuck at home. He couldn't drive. You know, I had to take care of him because he couldn't even drive because it was his right foot. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot on both of us.
Yeah, and it's not worth it. I mean, we all have to go to work on Monday morning, right?
Exactly. It's supposed to be for fun, right?
Yeah,
have fun with that.
Sure. For sure.
You know? Yeah.
So the game itself, I mean, you've played quite a bit. What's some of the best things that you've seen happen on the Diamonds?
People just, I think people, I mean, in some of the tournaments, you know, people helping, like when we play against some of the teams that do have autistic people on the team, like it's great to see, you know, if you're like, there's teams that are getting killed, like let them hit the ball. You know, I've seen people actually like come together and let them do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or even just becoming friends with people from other areas because of it. A lot of camaraderie and stuff like that. I don't know.
It's a pretty tight-knit community, really, and that's, to me, one of the best parts of it.
It got so big because the first time we played, I didn't even hear about it. I think we played in Adams Hope, but we didn't know what it was a long time ago because Sean grew up in Belleville, so we had people there. We played one tournament there, but we didn't even know. And then the next time was when we played in Coburg.
Right.
My friends put the team in, and like we didn't even know what it was until then. You know what I mean? It's got so much bigger since then, for sure. So it's great.
Yeah, and hopefully that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
If we ever get back on the
tournaments. I've seen people having tournaments like in Saskatchewan or something. I'm like, I can drive there. Can I come play?
We actually have a tournament there next weekend.
I'm like, I want to play.
But you're not allowed to play from out of province.
No, so that's the point, right? That's the point.
Hopefully in Ontario we get back at it sooner rather than later, but
for the adults, I wish they would just do, you know, play at your own risk kind of thing, because we all are adults, and hope, you know, the kids, I understand they don't wash their hands as well and stuff, but for the adults, I wish they would just, you know, there's more people in Walmart than are at a ball tournament half the time, you know what I mean? So I just wish that we had, you know, some way to say, you know, play at your own risk kind of thing, but.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping we see a stage 3 announcement this week, and maybe that'll give us some information on what it's going to be like going forward.
Yeah, I know. I read those NSA rules and stuff, though. They're kind of.
Well, yeah.
We'll get into that.
It is what it is, though. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? So. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I want to thank you a lot for doing this. I really appreciate it. But before you go, I got 10.
I like this better than you putting me on the spot in front of a whole bunch of people out at the field. This is better.
Is this better? Okay,
I'm more comfortable with this. Yes.
Well, you know there's going to be millions and millions of people watch this, right?
That's okay. I can't see them.
Or at least 10.
Good.
Before we go, though, I got 10 rapid-fire questions for you.
Oh, okay.
All right? Just first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Place you'd most like to vacation?
Australia.
Who do you look up to?
I don't know. Who I look up to?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that. I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I'd have an answer for that, but not now.
Favorite superhero?
Wonder Woman, of course.
Awesome. Skiing in the Alps or swimming in the ocean?
Swimming in the ocean.
Favorite band or artist?
I'm going to say Avril Lavigne.
Favorite time of day?
Right. Bedtime. Lately, I'm like, just get this day over with.
Yeah. Favorite beverage?
Diet Coke. No, actually, Coke Zero. See?
There we go.
Think Whitney.
What do you like better, hitting or defense?
Hitting. No, I don't know actually. Hitting if I'm good right now, or if
depends on how your day's going.
I want to defense. Yeah.
Biggest pet peeve?
Two-way stop signs.
If you were a wild animal, what would you be?
A polar bear. I don't know.
That's it. You did it.
All right. I'm just like, those are weird questions.
I told you, they're just rapid fire off the cuff.
And then you're like, I want more information about that two-way stops. No.
Yeah, really. Like, tell me about this.
Okay, so when we come out of our streets and we get to the main road, there's a two-way stop. And people don't know what to do at two-way stops. If you're stopped first, I don't care if you're turning left, right, second, whatever, it's your way. It's your way. These people are turning left and I'm going straight and they don't go because, or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's your turn.
How many corners are there on the intersection?
Well, there's it's a two-way stop, but there's 4 corners.
Okay.
But the one street's busy, right? It
Right.
doesn't have a stop sign.
Right.
And then I have a stop sign, they have a stop sign. So they'll come. So just say I'm turning left and they're turning right. You know, people who turn right just want to go.
Yep.
Either they don't stop and it's your turn, or they do stop and they're turning left and and you're going straight and they don't go because they think it's your turn because they're turning left, but they stopped first.
I saw one then that would really get you. I won't name the city, but the people that are from there will know it. There's a place that I go sometimes where there's an intersection that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, wow.
I guess, potential stops.
Mm-hmm.
4 of them have a stop sign.
And one doesn't.
And one doesn't.
We have one like that in Bowmanville. It's not as bad because it's only there's 4 streets. But the one on this way, it's going onto the highway. Have you ever been there at Liberty?
Yeah.
So there's 3 stop signs, but 4 streets, right? So the people who can turn left onto the highway or go straight on baseline have no stop sign. So people come up to stop to go straight, don't realize or whatever, and it's messy.
Yeah, there should be a stop sign for all of them because somebody's going to get nailed.
Because we get too backed up for people going, because you have to turn left to get onto the highway, onto the 401. So they have no stop signs, so you don't have to stop because it would back up the traffic all the way to the lights there because the lights are too close. But it's messy if you're not from Bowmanville. Do you know what I mean? If you're from Bowmanville, you know, but you always have to be careful. I'm going to turn left and one day someone's not going to be from Bowmanville and they're going to go.
Exactly. It's the out-of-towners that it's going to hurt the most.
Yeah, I don't know where yours is, but is it in Belleville? No?
No, it's a little east.
There's too many one-way streets in Peterborough and stuff. I don't know.
It's where your Avril Lavigne is from.
Oh, I've never actually been like east of Belleville in a car. I've only been to Ottawa once, and it was in a train. On a train.
You need to get out more.
Well, because I grew up in Toronto, we were always going north. Our cottage was in Lake Simcoe. My grandparents lived in Newmarket. I never came this way until I never even really been to Belleville until I was with Sean. I'm like, oh, we're going to Hicktown? He's like, it's not a Hicktown. And the first thing we saw when we got off the highway was a tractor store. I just started laughing.
Well, when pandemic's over, the two of you will have to come down for a drink.
Yes, we will.
Sounds good.
Your sister's still in Belleville, right, Sean? Somewhere? Yeah, his sister still lives in Belleville.
There we go.
There we go.
He's related to Brian too, right?
Brian's your uncle, right?
Yeah.
Brian's his uncle.
Yeah. I grew up with Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never met Brian. Oh, I did once. I think I met him once.
Yeah.
I think I met him once.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for years now, but grew up with him.
No, not last summer, the summer before, right? Yeah, 2 summers ago.
Got lots of shit with him.
Yeah.
But that was teenage years, right?
Yeah, can't talk about that anymore. No.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, but
right.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really, really appreciate
problem.
it. And I hope you have a great day.
You too.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, thanks again for joining us for another edition of Off the Diamond. This week's guest was Shalen Boyd. Please remember to comment below if there's anybody that you would like to see in future episodes or any comments that you have on this episode. Please also remember to give the video a like and subscribe so that you can catch all the upcoming editions of Off the Diamond. Thanks a lot, and I hope you all have a great week. Take care.